now flash flooding posing a serious threat in Council Bluffs. You can see this car is stuck in high waters in Council Bluffs, a very dangerous situation there.
And a live look over Midtown Omaha tonight. Look at the clouds moving left to right. The rain has just cleared the area, but the threat remains for high winds tonight.
And we'll get right on over to meteorologist David Keller. David.
Yeah, that is right. The rain coming to an end here in the metro, at least for the time being. We still have some strong thunderstorms off to the east in western Iowa. Atlantic to the south, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in place for Adams and Cass counties until 10:15. Some damaging wind gusts of 60 miles an hour possible with these storms just to the south of Atlantic. They'll continue to race off to the northeast about 40 miles per hour. So there you can see that strong storm there just south of Atlantic moving toward Carl and Greenfield. So some damaging winds, perhaps some small hail with that storm. We had some torrential rain a short time ago here in the metro. That has cleared out. So we are essentially dry. The main concern now just the wind, and you can see it with how quickly those clouds are sliding across the skyline there downtown. There's a lightning off to the east. Temperatures have cooled significantly from earlier. We're down to 63 now. This is the main concern. Wind gusts of 50 to 60, perhaps 66 miles an hour there in Tacoma. These winds alone could cause additional scattered power outages here as we head through the rest of the night, and a high wind warning is in place through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we're going to show you how long these high winds will be lasting and when the rain finally moves all the way out of the area in just a little bit. Lauren?
All right, David, we covered the storm in southeast Nebraska on 6 News live at 6:30.
Clay Osterley is now back in the metro covering more severe weather. We go to Clay.
Hey, good evening, guys. Right now we're back in Bellevue. We're at the intersection here of Harmel Road at Birchcrest Road. And earlier this evening when that heavy rain came through, this creek rose very quickly right here. And it caused an overflow that actually ended up shutting down a portion of Harville and Birchcrest. I believe we have a picture of that from Bellevue Police. Right now, though, as you can see, that water has subsided, and now there's just a little bit of debris left in the road from that. Also, earlier today, as thunderstorms really got going, we were in the town of Fairbury, Nebraska, when a tornado went through the town just to our north. We got blasted with really strong winds as that tornado fortunately did cross just to our north, but it did produce a little bit of damage that we could see. Some tree limbs down. We did see several areas where the debris was flying around as well. Showing some tin roof, sheet metal, and things like that kind of flying in the air from what we could tell. Also, further on down the road with our chase, we started to chase to the east. We got to Auburn, Nebraska, where we ran into some flash flooding on Highway 136. Luckily, the good news is we were kind of... Well, we're going to continue to talk about the tornado encounter, and again... Right there in front of us, Alex, right there. Tornado right in front of us. Just pull steady, hold steady. Let it go by us, Now what we're seeing with all the blowing dust is the RFD, which is very strong winds that come around the backside of the thunderstorm. Wow, Alex, look at that. Yeah, that was a pretty intense moment there. Like I said, we were getting some pretty gnarly winds at that point, too. Luckily, though, the tornado did pass to our north. The lights actually just flickered behind us here in Bellevue. But did want to also let you know about some of the flooding that we experienced in Auburn. I don't know if we've got that video or not, but if we do, you can take a look at kind of some of the things that we experienced. This was Highway 136 on the west side of Auburn as we were coming into town, and we ran into some pretty big flash flooding as those heavy rains were coming down. Luckily, these storms are moving a little bit more than we were expecting them to, so they didn't put quite as much rain down as they could have. And that's fortunate. That means that the water that was here at the intersection, again, of Harville and Birchcrest has been able to go down at this point. And for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio, guys. But I can tell you, it has been pretty windy so far out here.
All right, Clay, thank you for keeping on top of that for us.
Clay has covered a lot of ground today. Let's go now to our Liliana Pearson, who is live outside. Liliana?
I'm just off of I Street here at 80, and behind me there is some traffic that's being diverted for a very good reason. We're being told that a semi is overturned. It's in the eastbound lanes of Interstate 80 at the 680 interchange, and so far right now we're seeing about a handful of police cars with their strobe lights out, making sure that traffic is staying diverted out of that fast lane. Just a few minutes ago we did see a very large tow truck go by and some other cars with what appeared to be traffic cones in them, most likely to get that semi cleared out of the area and to keep people off of that lane. We have seen some of that heavier rain move out of the area, so traffic that is being diverted is moving pretty quickly for the most part out of here. Of course, we're going to be keeping you updated with the latest as we find out more about what is happening with this turned over semi.
Liliana Pearson reporting live tonight. Here's how it looked outside just about an hour ago here in Midtown Omaha. Heavy rain, and the wind was really picking up at this point. The number of power outages was going up at the same time. Our Sharon Chen is looking into that at the live desk.
Well, John, tonight, OPPD says that the weather-related outages continue to expand across our region. This all started around 7 tonight when power was knocked out to nearly 3,500 customers. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at the utility storm and outages map. Now, if I expand this, you can see all of these purple squares. Now, the darker the squares that you see, that represents a more denser area, and these are pretty much all the outages that are in the area now. Now, OPPD says that it estimates that there are about 43 customers that are affected tonight. The utility says that crews are fanned out across the service territory in both rural and metro areas, and they are working to address small as well as large outages. Now, because we're dealing with some very high winds, these crews are also included with utility foresters who will work with down trees and limbs. And OPPD service territory spans across 13 counties. Now, the utility says that crews have been tracking forecasts and preparing for their response ahead of tonight's severe weather, and it is expected to last overnight. From the live desk, I'm Sharon Chen. John, we'll send it to you.
Well, we have new details since 6:30. 6 News has learned what the sentence will be for anyone charged with Omaha's newly adopted hate intimidation law. Omaha had been only a handful of cities with a hate.
Now, how do I get a dead guy's name off the check?
It's the right check with the wrong name. So he came calling to 6 on Your Side for help. Mike McKnight investigates all new tonight.
Well, traffic alert off the top here for you. This is the accident we were talking about at the I-80-680 split. This is the eastbound I-80 lanes. A semi-truck on its side. Unclear if this is weather-related, but you can see crews on scene still working to get that tipped up and towed off the scene. Until then, the eastbound lanes of I-80 are closed. You'll have to use the L Street access to get around onto eastbound 80. If you're coming in from the west. We did have some heavy thunderstorms across the area earlier this evening. Still some severe weather off to the east, but these storms quickly exiting the area, 50 miles an hour or so. They're moving off to the east. You can see a severe thunderstorm warning continues for Cass County in Iowa. That storm still capable of producing some damaging wind gusts. But this is what happened earlier today. This is where Clay was. He reported this tornado in Fairbury right around 6 o'clock this evening. He got caught in those winds, and the airport there at Fairbury reporting wind gusts of 91 miles per hour, along with quite a bit of damage in that area. So thankfully, no injuries to report from that storm. Now the attention is just turning to the wind, and this is just straight wind and not coming in from showers or thunderstorms. Norfolk reporting 61-mile-an-hour winds this evening. Waco, just east of York, reporting 61-mile-an-hour winds. Wahoo reporting 55-mile-an-hour winds so far this evening. And Epley, here in Omaha, reporting a 58-mile-an-hour wind gust in the last hour. And Takema also reporting 60-mile-an-hour winds. And then as you get over to Griswold, some wind gusts of 60 to 70-mile-per-hour winds with this line of thunderstorms. So this will continue to track off to the east fairly quickly, moving out of our area within the next 15 to 20 minutes. The rain has come to an end here in the metro. We had some pretty good downpours there for a while, along with those very strong north winds. The rain has tapered off, but the winds not likely to go anywhere. We have a storm system working its way through Kansas right now, moving into the Manhattan area. All of this kind of spinning around. You can see additional showers and thunderstorms developing here west of Lincoln into the Grand Island area. As this storm moves eastward, well, that was not what I intended to do, but as that storm moves eastward that we've zoomed in on, it's going to bring that chance for showers and thunderstorms into our area. So we're dry now, but once we get past midnight, we're likely to see additional showers and thunderstorms developing and move from east to west across the area. Could have a few heavy downpours, but not expecting any severe weather with this. However, it may enhance some of those strong winds across the area. Scattered showers last into tomorrow morning. They begin to taper off here in the metro by about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think by 10 we are dry. The clouds begin to clear out as well. Some showers lingering across parts of western Iowa as late as 10 a.m. By the afternoon, we break back into sunshine, but it is going to be a cooler day, especially compared to the last 8-9 days when we've had mostly 90-degree weather. Tomorrow, a high right around 74, so quite a bit cooler. Right now, we're down to 64 degrees, a north wind at 24 miles per hour. Of course, the main concern for the rest of the overnight is these strong winds. York, a few minutes ago, reporting a wind gust near 60 miles an hour. Tacoma, 66 miles an hour. Last report in Omaha, 38 miles an hour, but a high wind warning is still in place through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And although the wind speeds may go up and down, these wind gusts still could approach 50 to 60, maybe 65 miles per hour through early tomorrow morning. Notice those wind gusts still around 45 miles an hour as the sun comes up. So it's going to be very windy all night long, and that could lead to some additional scattered power outages. Now, the winds begin to die down by tomorrow afternoon. So overnight, some scattered showers and storms, that rain lingering through about 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wind gusts still potentially up to 60 miles per hour. So very windy in the morning, a few showers lingering. By the afternoon, sunshine returns, but it will be a cooler day. Highs only around 74 degrees. The rest of the week, much quieter, pretty comfortable, more typical June summer weather with highs in the low and mid-80s. Download our First Alert weather app to track rain, storms, and wind across the area. You can use the interactive radar to track those storms.
Thursday on just looks like perfect summer weather.
Yeah, the rest of the week looking really beautiful. Tomorrow afternoon, it's going to look nice. It's going to be very windy out.
We can handle that.
Yeah, some rattling windows tonight trying to sleep.
Exactly.
All right, David, high honors for a standout high school athlete. He has a hot bat on the diamond, and the grades in the... After the heavy rain, high wind picked up in the metro.
And there is a high wind warning still in place, threatening power outages in the area. And Sharon Chen is tracking it all at the live desk. Sharon?
Lauren and John, some of those power outages are already happening. And earlier we told you about 4,300 people affected. Now we just heard another 2,600 customers are affected. Now this came in just at about 9 o'clock tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at that storm and outages map. Now these latest outages are affecting the west and south areas of Omaha. And again, as I told you, these purple squares represent the areas that are in an outage at this time. So as we take a look at our city cam, the stormy weather tonight expected to last throughout the night. And because of that, utility crews are going to be fanned out across the service territory, working to address these outages. But again, at this time, right now, about a total of 7,800 homes without power. From the live desk, I'm Sharon Chen. We'll send it back to you.
We'll send it over to David Keller now in the Forecast Center.
Thanks, John. We are still tracking some showers and thunderstorms off to the east of the metro, the strongest pushing east of Atlantic, getting closer to the Des Moines metro now. Dry over the Omaha metro. A few thunderstorms redeveloping back to the west of Lincoln. We'll continue to see a few scattered showers and storms overnight as this area low pressure tracks to the east across Kansas. But the main issue for the overnight is the winds. Look at this, 66-mile-an-hour wind gust reported recently in Tacoma. So the potential is there for 50 to 60, maybe 65-mile-an-hour winds across much of eastern Nebraska, where that high wind warning remains in place. You can see those high winds lasting all night long into tomorrow morning. So the wind is going to be rattling through the night into tomorrow. The winds begin to die down tomorrow afternoon with highs around 74. The rest of the week looking beautiful for June.
Going to be a windy night for sure. All right, day breaks at 4:30. Good night.
Good night.
Get WOW.